Salam and welcome. Thank you for joining me in part number 20 in this Ansari series. We're listening to the fabulous lecture by Dr. Maulana Fazl Rahman Ansari Rahmatullah Alayhi in 1972 to a multicultural audience, and the matters he's talking about are relevant in the 70s as they are relevant today in the global scene. Let's listen to today's episode. Alhamdulillah.
And unless this direct experience of the divine comes to the human beings in larger numbers, unless that spirit is aroused, which is the spirit of truth, justice and duty, the human problems, I think, cannot be solved. South Africa might have certain problems, but who can say that there are not many countries in this world where there are not very serious type of problems, even social problems? What is actually needed today, so far as I can see it, is that which has been emphasized by the speakers before me, and that is a definite and positive effort, a dynamic effort to go back to God, to try to understand the highest values in which mankind has believed. Those highest values for which very eminent and holy personalities arose in the history of mankind. They arose in India, they arose in Palestine, they arose in China, they arose on the continent of Africa, because according to the Holy Quran, the message which the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ brought, such eminent and holy personalities came from God to all the various communities of mankind. I think all of us who are here know it very well that Islam believes in the unity of God. But again, this unity of God which Islam gives us is not unity of a tribal God, is not the unity of a God who is not above human passions, is not the unity of a God who cares for a certain community more than for another community. The verses from the Quran which were read in the very beginning of this function, there, and those verses are the verses with which the Holy Quran begins. There God has introduced himself as Rabbul Alameen, or the Lord of all the worlds. If this concept is accepted, that there is only one God and He is the creator of this entire universe, He is the ruler and the king of this entire universe, it is He who has brought into being everything which is to be found in this world, it is He who has made every human being, then alone human beings can cherish the real ideal of human brotherhood, that all human beings are one family. Of course, when we say that all human beings are one family, it does not mean, it has never meant, it cannot mean that all human beings are equally good or all human beings are equally bad. But this point is something which Islam has emphasized very vehemently and emphatically, that even as Muslims, and I am talking here to the Muslims, as Muslims, they have got to deal with all human beings primarily in their capacity as human beings. And about humanity itself, the Holy Quran has laid down the law, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. God has made every human being because of his humanity an honorable being. And on this principle, the Quran further preaches that all human beings, as human beings, are born free and equal. But this freedom and this equality which is there is a potential freedom and a potential equality. This freedom can be withdrawn and is withdrawn under every law if the human being does not behave properly as a human being. This equality vanishes if every human being does not try to behave and does not try to equip himself with that dignity which alone can ensure that equality. Otherwise, these words might remain words. It is in the very nature of human beings that they would always try to respect any merits which are found in another human being. Consequently, the law should be and the endeavor should be that all human beings should try to excel one another in goodness. All human beings should try to see good in other human beings, and the spirit of hatred, the spirit of contempt for others, and the spirit of jealousy or any other spirit of that type should be kept aside, and a person should try that he should prove to others through his own behavior and through his own achievements that he is worthy of honor. What is happening today, as I said in the beginning, is that godliness has become something formal, while the philosophy of life which we are all pursuing is a sort of materialistic, sensuous philosophy. And this philosophy has got its history. My friend Mr. Adam spoke about Nietzsche, and he also spoke about Freud. Nietzsche was the product of his age, and Freud was more so a real product of his age. But how things happened in this world, in this connection, if we try to find out, we will find that this type of revolt against religion arose because of the mistakes from the side of those who said that they were the protagonists of religion. Revolt always comes when there is injustice.
We'll pause there for today, where revolt always comes where there is injustice, and nobody likes social injustice in society. And that's when systems like communism and various types of social orders came up. But they also had problems. There's a problem with capitalism, there's a problem with socialism, there's a problem with communism, whereas Islam gives the best model, which is a hybrid model between capitalism and socialism, which is known as philanthropic capitalism. But join me in the next episode, which is this is episode number 20. Join me in episode number 21, where we are now going to continue with Dr. Maulana Fazl Rahman Ansari, where he's talking about problems occurring in society when there is social injustice. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.